been wondering for a few weeks now how we can get people to take us more seriously. I mean, we are the Sometimes Serious show, and then while we were watching the PS5 reveal, it hit me. All we have to do to be super relevant and make you all feel special is keep showing you 4 random geometric shapes, right? I mean, if it's good enough for a corporation, then it's good enough for us.
Oblate spheroid. Triangle.
Hello and welcome to the Sometimes Serious podcast, where we're sometimes serious all the time. I'm your host, Michael Palmer, and today I am joined by Philip Edwards.
Hello.
And Ethan Porter.
Ahoy hoy.
How are you all?
Yeah, I'm alright.
I'm if you could refer to me as from now on.
No. I
Please.
point blank refuse.
Okay, fine. Just move on with whatever topics you've got then. You don't want to play ball. You don't want to yes and with me.
No, I just don't want to call you something ridiculous, that's all.
I didn't ask for ridiculous, I just asked for
I mean, there are
Oh,
two different
so-
words.
So, have you heard about a little secret message on the newest edition of the Xbox One X?
No?
Is it feet pics?
It's not feet pics, no.
Damn!
So, you know how CD Projekt Red have been building a silly amount of hype for Cyberpunk 2077? And whether you knew it or not, there is a Cyberpunk 2077 Xbox One X coming out.
Yep.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
on the inlaid bit, just underneath the grill, on, I believe, one of the sides, there is, someone spotted and took a photo of a little engraved bit that says Uniform Victor Michael Echo. So UVME. And, you know, loads of people had hoped that it'd be part of Cyberpunk's ongoing alternate reality game, and, you know, it's not. Turns out it's not that grand. It's something much more simple. It's a
Okay,
thank
so
you
they can
message.
identify it. Oh.
No, it's a thank you message to the fans. So someone took a UV light to it, just to like see if it was part
Of course,
of the ARG.
UVB.
Yeah,
Someone
I know.
ripped open their special edition Xbox
Oh, no,
One
no,
X
no,
and then went,
it's on
It's on the
"Oh,
outside."
I've got a UV light.
Yeah, it's on the outside, and just grabbed a UV light and shined it over. It reads many languages, one message, and it reads as a thank you in about 15 languages.
Should have said get good.
No, I'm A-okay with that. Heroes. Absolute heroes.
Yep.
I feel
Yeah,
like they should
I
have
want
had it
CD.
lead to something else, somewhere else, and then just, you know, little just a little treasure hunt, you know?
No.
Yeah, why
This is
not? It's
fine,
going to be the
because-
last Xbox One X console, probably.
Well,
Why not?
exactly, but this is their way of saying, you know, thank you for supporting us as a development studio, and I'm all right with that.
I do love CD Projekt. They've done well.
You keep cracking out great games, CDPR, and we'll keep supporting you.
Hey, you get Keanu Reeves involved, everyone's on board. You're sorted.
You don't even need to get him involved, and I will still buy your video game.
This is also true, but he helps.
Yeah, he does. That amount of hype when he came onto stage.
That whole breathtaking moment just killed it for him. Not killed it, you know, opposite.
I was
Brought to life.
expecting you to go, that whole breathtaking moment was just breathtaking.
It was tempting, don't get me wrong. It was tempting.
Now, the other small bit of news that I found out that made me chuckle is related to Codemasters, the makers of Dirt. They're doing Dirt 5. Yeah.
Did you get some dirt on them?
Oh, so funny. No. Here's the thing. So everyone, developer-wise, has been constantly praising the PS5 for its SSD speeds and how amazing it's going to be, so few load screens, load times, all of that. And Codemasters turned around and actually just went, actually, we're amazed by the sheer speed of the Xbox's SSD. And
I mean, I'm glad
they
someone's speaking about it.
Well, they said that on paper, the Xbox is slower than PlayStation's SSD, and they said that obviously the SSD in the PS5 is absolutely incredible. However, it's not like it's a PC SSD, it's actually more than that. And they said this about Xboxes as well. And they said being able to load data so ridiculously fast is not only really impressive as a developer, but also as a developer, it's very interesting. For Dirt 5, we're going to be able to get into races super fast. That means no loading screens getting in the way, no dawdling, no looking at my phone. It means that the action will be non-stop. So the way they were talking about it, because there's no direct quote here for wording, but the way they were talking about it makes it seem like Xbox has something going on with the way it's handling its own SSD that seems to give it an edge. So it doesn't need raw speed from the SSD. There's other processes going on.
Well, they both have these custom built, like, they've custom built pretty much everything from the ground up. So it's not just a normal SSD that you plug in. Everything's been so custom built that maybe it's just in there, in like the nitty gritty, in the custom nature of the Xbox. Codemasters found it was quicker.
Yep. And
It's one of those things. Sorry,
Go
go.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it's all well and good that obviously developers telling us these things, but until we actually see it in practice ourselves, we don't know which one's actually going to be the superior one.
Well, here's something that the developers behind Ori said. This is something they said. PS5 super fast SSD is nice for first-party titles, but multi-platform titles will be developed for the lowest common denominator. So even if the multi-platform game devs make a game with PS5's SSD raw speed in mind, it's going to be limited by the raw speed, respectively, of the Series X's SSD. So it makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah,
Because
it's exclusives that matter then.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, it's only exclusives. It's not like you can suddenly just start playing a PS5 exclusive in a Series X.
This comes back to my my prediction I made a couple of weeks ago, where I reckon that the Series X will technically, I reckon everyone will come out saying it failed. It's not selling as many units. Xbox doesn't actually care about that. They care about is getting as many of their games into as many people's hands, which is why Xbox is kind of leaning away from exclusives. Because they don't really care about it anymore. Because if they sell their exclusive on a different platform, they make 70%. 70%. Xbox is rolling in the money.
Yep.
They don't need exclusives. They don't need console sales. They're rolling in money left, right, and center. And I think that's how they're going to win. It's going to be a long-term goal, but I reckon that's how they're winning.
Well, there was a short interview that I read with Phil Spencer, where I think it was Phil Spencer, where basically turned around and said, yeah, we're not looking at, shifting the most amount of consoles. We're not looking to try and beat our own records for console sales, because we know that economic times are tough now due to the lockdown and all of this, and that people aren't going to be able to just rush out and buy it. And so we're focusing completely on the service side of things. We're focusing on buying it on the Xbox One and being able to play it on the Series X and all of that. So
getting as many games as they can into as many hands as they can.
Yep, exactly.
Legends.
But I just thought I'd bring that up because Xbox are still saying the most powerful console, so does kind of say something there, doesn't it? If they still have the right to call themselves that, what have they got going on that they haven't told us? So, just thought I'd bring that one up.
It does make me a little bit kind of suspicious, because the PlayStation, throughout this current generation's life cycle, the PlayStation was constantly touting, we're the best, we're the most powerful. Like, play games here because we are the most powerful. But they're not saying it now. And Xbox is. Which makes me believe that, factually, the Series X will be more powerful. Just because, why wouldn't PlayStation be touting this again? If Xbox is claiming they're the most powerful and they're not, surely PlayStation would want to come out and go, actually, look at this. We're the best.
Well,
because they did it with the PlayStation 4.
Well, it's to put it in terms of another company, you get your double glazing companies, your conservatory companies, ones that do all of that, and I believe it's Everest where they say they are the best, and you can't do them for false advertising because they are the best. They have the right to call themselves that. So, again, if Xbox, if the Series X wasn't the most powerful, someone would have done them for it already.
That's what I'm thinking. So I've got to think there's something in the back end, something that Xbox is hiding.
Yeah,
like somewhere in their custom architecture that they've actually gone, yep.
I think it'll be interesting to see when they actually show everything of it off, to see how it compares to the PS5, which, aesthetically, that's a different thing, but spec-wise...
Well, thank you for that, because that was absolutely beautiful. On the subject of the PS5, my God, what did that look like?
Right.
That was the ugliest console I've ever seen.
Okay, good. I was going to say, are we fans or not? And I am not a fan.
No,
all.
So ugly.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible, isn't it?
I will say this, that circular base part, because it was stood on its side, I'm hoping that's not a permanent attachment to it, although I'm worried that it is. But,
it has to be.
But ignoring that, the only one, because they've got the disc version, the disc drive version, and the digital version. And the digital version is the only one where if you remove that circular base, it actually looks sleek. That's it. That's the only compliment I can give it.
It looks like a third-year art student. This was their project. And they handed it in at the end of the year, and they still got a D, because they over-engineered it and over-designed it. And it's like, stop! Oh God, why?
It genuinely reminds me of either an old router or the old skyboxes.
Oh yeah, the old skyboxes. Forgot about them.
But yeah, speaking about the circular stand, I have seen an image which actually shows the PS5, sorry, on its side. So laying horizontal, not vertical. And the stand is on the bottom of it again. So it looks like it's going to be a removable piece.
Okay.
It probably has, I assume, 2 attach points. So obviously one it'll attach to the bottom, the other one it'll attach to the side in some way. I don't know. Because it can't be loose, obviously. But yeah, that design is absolutely horrible, honestly. The amount of memes I've already seen of it is insane.
Yeah. They flooded the internet like 10 minutes after they went, here's what it looks like. It's like, nope, no.
PlayStation have always had simple, sleek designs. It's one of the main things. But yet with this one, they were like, oh yeah, let's try and be, futuristic, try and be edgy, try and be,
I don't know,
fancy with it.
Can I point out the original PS3? That thing wasn't exactly sleek. That thing was,
it wasn't,
robust.
But it was robust. However, design-wise, it was decent because it wasn't like random bloody like the PS5. You got these weird like white bits of paper that are pointing out in the corners. You didn't have anything like that. It was just it was all rounded. It was smooth to some extent. In a
white
way.
bits of paper.
No, to be
honestly,
fair,
I don't know what to describe
that's an accurate description. It looks like the console was just caught in a breeze and 2 bits of paper just went and stuck to each side.
Like here's a nice little sandwich, It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all on the same page there.
I've seen so many people try to defend it, but how can you defend it? Look at it. At
Well,
least make it black. Come on.
talking about fighting a losing battle, their whole thing is about pushing gaming forward, and their first trailer was GTA 5.
Oh my god. Don't even.
That made me
The fact that they
laugh.
showed that first really annoyed me. Like, oh yeah, here's GTA 5, a game that's been on the last 2 generation consoles. Enjoy. It's like,
I would like to clarify something. They specifically said, PS5 owners will get GTA Online for free. And then GTA
so-
had to come out and confirm for the first 3 months. It's not just you get it for free. If you get a PS5 in the first 3 months, then you get it for free.
always a stipulation.
But
Yeah.
PlayStation didn't make that clarification. Can we just real quick jump back? The digital only version of the console, I think that's actually an amazing move. I think that's an amazing move. I cannot credit them enough.
Personally, I buy 90% of my games digitally, so I don't see any reason for me not to go for it. Other than the fact I can get games from work, but that's separate, That's whatever. But if it saves me like 100 quid, yeah. I mean, obviously we don't have price points yet, but presumably it's going to be like the 1S digital version. It's going to be significantly cheaper.
Yeah, it has to be. And if it is, then, oh my god, yes, that is the absolute correct thing to do. We are shifting to a more digital age, and I know there are some people who still hold on to their game collections, but throughout this generation, I haven't brought a single physical game. Every game's been digital. If you put out a digital console, I'm way more likely to get it, especially if you make it cheaper.
Well, I am with you. It is an absolutely amazing move. But I can't help but laugh at the amount of discussions where people have been speculating on, it's going to cost this much, it's going to cost that much, I've saved up this much money for it. And then I've looked through how common each figure was, and most people are hovering around the sort of £600 mark. There are a few people who are optimistic who have gone, it'll only be 400, and it's like, I doubt that very much. Good luck with that. There was someone that went, it'll probably cost £1,000, and I read the entire thread of discussion, and some people were going, it would never cost that much. They'd just kill themselves if they did that. And I get it. That is true. However, someone's retort that made me chuckle was, really? Have you seen the newest iPhone? So like, yeah,
but a
put that price
PlayStation
on it, people will still buy it.
Yeah, some will, but it's a long-standing thing that the company will always make a loss on the box. They always make a loss. It's just how much of a loss do they want to make? And PlayStation's always been quite greedy with their price. I know it sounds like we're just hating on PlayStation, but the evidence is there. They've always been quite greedy with the price of their consoles. The PS3 launched at like $100 more than the Xbox.
Yep, it did. Until they released an edition that didn't do PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. Because that original PS3 that came out was backwards compatible with PlayStation 2 discs, and I think some PlayStation 1, but I could be wrong.
It's irrelevant,
can't
but do you know how
remember.
to tell?
I can't remember.
In front of
because
it,
I never owned it.
next to the disc tray is a flap if it's backwards compatible, instead of just a solid piece. That is it. It's the easiest way to tell.
I know it's slightly off topic, but can we all just collectively agree? let's ignore PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Can we all just forget those right now and just agree backwards compatibility has to be a thing, full stop, going forward?
100%. Like if they're not backwards compatible,
no.
I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna get them straight away because there's no point.
Well, just as a quick addition to that, I am in complete agreement with you. However, don't get your hopes up in terms of Sony's side, purely because they said some games will be, and I know they meant some games at launch. However, looking at their track record through the PlayStation Store the last time I was on there, which admittedly was probably about 4 months ago now, Um, there really wasn't much in the way of games that I would play, and looking at like the vast amount of games they had, say on the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2, there really wasn't much that was backwards compatible.
I mean, obviously, it's been something that all the fans have been asking for a long time. A long, long time. That's why they did PlayStation Now, which didn't take off, obviously. But if they do it from launch and then just add to it like Xbox did, they didn't do it from launch, but they added to the list. It makes more people want to buy the console because you can't play with your friends that've got PS4s, but then you can.
Well, I'm just thinking like collection wise. In my opinion, it's unacceptable that when Xbox One launched, it was unacceptable that they launched and went, "Wow, look at all these new games." Yeah, but what about my old games? I spent years buying games and playing them and adding games to my collection, and now I lose that library just because I've upgraded. That was unacceptable. And then they corrected it, and they're still correcting it because they're bringing out more and more, and the goal is to keep bringing them out. That has to be the stance going forward. It just has to be. I cannot lose my library if I want to upgrade. That's just not acceptable.
I'm 100% with you because I mean, like the last gen, not the current one, the one before. You spent nearly a decade building up this library, all your games, your digital downloads, everything. And they're like, all right, here's Rise, Son of Rome. That's all.
Yeah. Wow, I'm so glad I upgraded.
I think the less that's said about that game, the better.
Hashtag it wasn't that bad of a game.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't exactly great.
It wasn't worth my
fantastic.
entire library.
No,
No
definitely
chance.
not.
None of the games on launch were. Not Dead Rising 3, not, that.
But on the subject of games that aren't worth your entire library, are either of you actually interested in Gran Turismo 7?
Not in the slightest.
Exactly.
Forza exists.
Yep.
There you
and
go.
I think that's all we can say to that, so moving on.
Well, no, we can spend a little longer on that.
Okay.
Gran Turismo is the granddaddy of racing. It used to be amazing. But just because you were first doesn't mean you're best.
It is.
Forza came out.
Like with human beings, there's a peak age. They hit their peak. They're past that peak now. They're just coasting now. They're trying to get back on top, but it's not going to happen. Come on, guys.
Well, I'm not sure if it was the most recent one, but the one I've got on my PS4 is Gran Turismo Sport, I believe.
That's the most recent one, yes.
Okay, that was absolutely horrendous. I think there's still the whole test thing and licenses, but it doesn't seem like it's integrated in the same way. I couldn't adjust the way I race in terms of traction control, anti-locking brakes,
so you
etc.
can fine-tune your car and everything.
Yeah, I couldn't do that from the word go because it expects you to drive like you're brand new to the entire world until you've progressed far enough that you're allowed to do it. And I maybe did 2 races, got disgusted, and turned it off and uninstalled it.
Yeah, I've not heard good things about it.
Don't.
How many times
Honestly, don't.
have we, like me and you, Menzies, brought up specifically that games, at the start of games, should just have a quick little menu that pops up, just a real meta moment, and just like, let's say an isometric ARPG pops up, and just like the moment you start, it just pops up going, have you ever played Diablo? And if you go yes, it can skip most of the basic tutorials because it's just like Diablo. A racing game should just go, look, you played racing games before? Yes, I have. All right, we'll enable all these options. You can set it how you want to.
I will say, as my last piece on the difference between platforms in terms of racing games. Back, I think it was just after I got my 360 and I was starting to play racing games on the 360. It really, really, really threw me off when I'd turn on my PS2 and I would go to do a racing game and accelerate was not R2.
Oh, when it was X.
It was like X.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, what am I pressing?
Like squares
What's
break
going
or something.
on? Yeah. It's just like, I don't like this.
back in the old times. When
But
triggers
It's the
didn't have
glory
rumble.
days,
But talking of the PS2, Ratchet and Clank. I loved
Ooh.
playing
can't
Ratchet
wait
and
for it.
Clank. The last time I played it was on PS2.
Calling it right
And-
now, it's Ratchet.
Rochelle.
Calling it right now.
But it does
Rachetina.
look good. The actual visuals of it does look good. And
think it's
something that you pointed out, Philip, was when they did the gameplay bit and he fell through into that purple shard fracture portal thing, and
Rift.
you just went, "That's a really good stealth load," because it was so quick. You
Yeah,
weren't
there's no
hovering
way
in
it's
there
going to
for
be that
ages.
quick.
No, but if they can make it close to that,
Well,
it was a good way to do it. You pointed that out.
in regards to load times, because obviously they say that Spider-Man, the original one on PS4, the load time was from 15 seconds or whatever to 0.28, I think it was it?
Yeah. I
So
remember
if they can
watching
do that, if theoretically with Ratchet and Clank, it's not going to be too much longer if it is, because it's not a high fidelity game. Like, yeah, it's pretty, but it's a completely different style. It's not as in depth in regards to certain textures and things. Yeah, you've got the shines, you've got the reflections and things, but it's a more cartoony kind of game.
You've got reflections and things like ray tracing off Clank.
Oh my god, don't get me started on that. The press conference where they went, oh my god, we're introducing all these brand new things, like travelling through dimensions and ray tracing on Clank. Okay, so these brand new things, you only described two. One of them is a gameplay feature, so that doesn't count, and the other is ray tracing. do you want applause for that? Or?
So I know in regards to the gameplay of Ratchet and Clank, I don't know why I really enjoyed the way he sort of pulled himself through the orange fractures during the fights.
Yep.
It kind of threw me off because he grabbed it and he pulled himself to it, but he didn't pull himself to it. He pulled everything to him, kind of thing.
Yeah, he pulled it to him. Yeah,
but it pulled the whole world. It just kind of threw me off a bit, but I liked it. It was it's funky.
I'm hoping that this is just judging by the gameplay that they showed, so it could just be on the end of the person that was playing it. But I'm hoping that they've at least got a slider for look sensitivity, because after he pulled himself to that other sort of hovering train cart thing, and there was the enemy next to him, it really felt like it was the slowest turn left that I've ever seen. Because when you're playing and someone's shooting at you, you don't just turn gently and go, "Oh, isn't the scenery nice?" You immediately snap turn and shoot the enemy.
Yeah, but
I mean, they'll be doing that slowly just for the showing everything off.
yeah.
I know, but still, I just couldn't help but watch it and go, "Can you at least play this the way a player would play it, please?"
That's why I always hated watching Ubisoft's things at E3. Because they always had a team of people doing something that just was not realistic in the slightest.
The Division.
Yeah, that's it.
Great
Division
find.
and
we need to get
Rainbow
that out,
Six
though.
Siege.
What the? Let's be honest. In any real looter shooter where your mate grabs this expert gun, it isn't like, "Wow, what an amazing find." It's like, "You jammy mother."
Yeah, it's like, how did you get that?
Thing.
Oh, where's my
How
legendary?
did you get that? That's so unfair. You know what? I'm not going to help you. I'm going to let you die and then take it off your corpse. That's how games actually go.
Yeah.
In regards to that, I remember playing Diablo with Michael, and the amount of legendaries I remember you getting. I'm pretty sure it was you anyway.
Yeah,
Oh my
me.
God.
I remember this. I remember.
I got one, and the whole time we played, and he got like 20. It was just
I loved it because
me
it was like,
"Oh wow,
almost
you got that one. That's a really rare find. Well done."
That's exactly how it went.
Anthem. That's what that reminded me of when they were initially
Cool. What
doing
is
the
it?
thing.
Oh, it's Jorah's Wrath. Wow, that's really unique. Good find.
And yet, when I said, because I played the Demon Hunter back then, when I said, "Oh, I've just found this crossbow that does this," you're like, "Excuse me, can you not? Can you give me some legendaries?" I think I dropped you a bunch, and you said, "Okay, can you give me some legendaries I can use?" I was like, "No."
Yeah, it broke me inside.
The only thing about Ratchet and Clank, going back to that I did not like, and it's purely because I don't remember it being part of the other games, so correct me if I'm wrong, but why was there an XP bar?
Oh no, that was there before. Yeah, you level up
What,
your
that
guns.
was there in older games?
Yeah, you leveled up your
Oh,
guns.
okay.
So I assume
just-
that'll be the same for that. It'll be leveling up the guns, which then gets them stronger. That's been a thing since back in the day. Don't worry.
Okay, that's all right. It's been that long since I played that I was like, I'm pretty sure there weren't XP bars. Please don't tell me there's a leveling system.
Yeah, I mean, I had to play the PS4 one when that came out. Obviously, the remake of the original, basically. It was, nice little throwback.
I might have to get it just to replay it.
Just watch the YouTube. Watch the film on Netflix. It's just the cutscenes from the game.
I've actually seen that film. I'm ashamed to say.
That's not. That's,
I was really bored one day.
So you watched it?
Yeah. I was like, oh, Ratchet and Clank. I remember Ratchet and Clank from like 20 years ago. Sure. Wow, that was...
I was going to say, how
long
fast
did that
did you
last?
fall asleep?
No, I watched the entire thing. I think.
It's well animated.
You think?
Can't confirm.
Okay. Moving on to the next one. Project Athia, I believe it's pronounced. That's Square Enix
It's
title.
Square Enix, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And
looks pretty.
I would like to point out, just for viewers' sake, it said designed for. It's not exclusive. It is designed with the PS5 in mind.
See,
I know it's coming to PC, but I don't know about Xbox.
I feel like, for some reason, I have the feeling it's going to come to PC, like you said, and it's going to obviously be on PS5. I feel like it's not going to come to Xbox. Only because it's Square Enix, and they love Sony. I know obviously it's coming to PC, so, it's kind of a mishmash, but I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a Sony PC thing, and it's going to be annoying because
Xbox has been throwing money at Square Enix.
I mean, to be fair,
throwing fistfuls at them lately.
I reckon Project Athia, or whatever it's called, is going to get renamed to like Final Fantasy 16 or something.
It's got to be. It's got to be because there's no way is that the actual title. That's a working.
No, I mean they did say it's a
more.
working title. They did say it's a working title.
It's so early in development. Whatever that is so early in development that we saw nothing. We saw a couple of cutscenes and a scripted event. Wow!
Saw them jump from area to area. It looks pretty. Don't get me wrong. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's got the Square Enix look to it.
Yeah, but
it does.
CG cutscenes always look great. The Order 1886 looked amazing, but by everyone who played it, it was garbage.
Yeah, see, I remember when it first came out, I was in game, and I asked them, "Oh, should I get that?" And the guy behind the counter just looked at me, shook his head, and went, "Run away from it." I was like, "All right, cheers."
And I would have done the same in his position, honestly. Like, if you just want a pretty thing to look at, then by all means, you do pretty much nothing in it, so why not? But
Go to
honestly,
Google, it'll save you money.
just watch a YouTube playthrough. In fact, yeah, just watch a YouTube playthrough.
But moving on from games that are a disappointment, how much do you want to play as a cat?
Oh, Stray. Oh, that was a highlight for me, honestly.
10 out of 10.
Not only are you a cat, you're a cat with a backpack. Just saying.
In a robot city.
Exactly. You don't even have to deal with people.
The moment that trailer ended, like, because me and Mrs. watching it together, the moment that trailer ended and the cat looked and went meow, I went 10 out of 10 game of the year. That's it. I'm sold. I'm probably gonna get a PlayStation 5 just for playing as a cat. I'm in.
Also, it's a ginger cat.
Now look here. That does not mean that you've got a new best friend for life.
Yeah, it does. I will love that cat, and I will cherish it, and I will play that game till I die.
Dies in Act 3
and all its
play a dog in Act 4.
No, don't say that. Don't you dare. Stray is going to be... I mean, is it coming out in 2020? Did they say? I can't remember if they said. It's 2020 or 2021.
I can't remember. I feel like it's 2021.
Same. I feel like it's
think
probably going to be
that's
like
one
a
of the
the
ones
summer
that's
sort of
2021.
sort of release. But either way, I mean, it's a cute looking game. There's obviously it doesn't look like there's any humans. It's just because obviously you have rip humans on the wall and sprayed on by, I assume, a robot. Yes.
Or the cat.
Do robots care about graffiti or the cat? Yeah, who knows? It's got spray paint in its backpack. You don't know. Yeah, I mean, it looks like I reckon it's going to be some sort of stealth element to it. I mean, it's a
Filled with
cat.
tuna.
Cats are, cats are stealthy things. Well, when they want to be. Otherwise, they're running around your house at night at 3 a.m, knocking everything over. But either way.
Oh my god! If there's a scene where you do that, like you're sneaking through a person's house, the robot comes in, and your cat, like you lose control, the cat just goes mental, knocks everything off counter, bolts out the door. I am 100% purchasing 10 out of 10 Game of the Year. Create a new
Even if it's
award
not
at the Game Awards specifically for this.
that if you do that game with a cat, how can you not do something like that? You have to, right?
I've just looked up the release date for you. It is 2021.
Okay.
There's a little bit here, and I will tell you, it's a third-person perspective adventure game.
Okay.
Boo!
So I'm fine with third
I want
person.
an FPS shooter.
What, shooting out fish? Like what?
Yeah.
Just get the new Marcus Phoenix, but it's a cat.
A cover shooter. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes.
But the cover ranges from sofas to cardboard boxes and everything in between.
Yeah, but if it's a cardboard box, you'll never leave.
Could you imagine running up to someone, just bang, they just burst into bits, and out of the mist of blood comes this cat just going, it's like, 10 out of 10.
You know what it needs? It needs to have the ability to just boop someone with your paw. Just like little soft, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to.
I'm going to have to upset you by telling you that
no.
players will get to enjoy the feel of the game where the cat will be lost, alone, and separated from family.
Oh,
it is essential
sad.
for players to untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten cyber city and find the way home.
Jesus Christ, what kind of cat is this? It's like cat Sherlock Holmes kind of thing going on.
Actually, no, this cat is MacGyver.
Oh my god, Cat Guyver.
What this sounds like is a cat fell into a drain one day and suddenly wound up in an ancient robot city under the crust of the earth.
I mean, this
That's
is entirely
what that
possible.
sounds like.
It's I mean, judging by because obviously we don't see the sky, and I don't remember seeing the sky anyway. I only remember seeing enclosed areas, so this is entirely possible. It could be underground.
Well, according to the developer, players will enjoy the life of a stray cat, roaming in the cyber city surroundings, defend against unforeseen threats, and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place.
A Sam and Dean cat. Fucking
But
ghost.
that's all we've got.
Freaking ghosts coming at you.
That's why cats meow randomly. It's those ghosts.
This is true.
That's it.
There we go.
Ghosts.
Confirmed.
My cat's just an annoying little dick. That's why he meows randomly.
Anyway, that game does look like it could be fun. It's a shame it's not a cover shooter. Let's face it, that'd just be infinitely better. Firing tuna at enemies.
Call of Cat. Call of Cat.
Call of Cat.
Cat of Duty.
No, I'm sorry, we can't call it Call of Cat. Think of the initialing.
Oh yeah, have you played CAC?
No, it wouldn't be CAC.
No, I
Does
think
not begin with an A.
No, but I think we'll leave that one where it is. The other thing I wanted to bring up.
Call of Cat, Kitten Warfare.
Oh no.
So it's cock.
No. Moving swiftly on now, the intermission between a bunch of games was just constant geometric shapes. It's horrendous. But the thing that annoyed me, which did, I believe, appear at the end when they were, showing off the entire thing and the controllers, they keep going back to their thing about 3D audio. And while we've got more games to discuss, going forward, what's the point in 3D audio? Isn't that what Turtle Beaches were for?
See, 3D audio, presumably that's like, oh, you've got a stereo system at home, you can now just, have it work properly. It's like, great, but like you're saying, yeah, everyone uses headsets when playing games. Like, I use a headset 90% of the time, unless I'm playing a single player game that, I'm having a chill time, I'm just relaxing, like playing Slime Rancher or something stupid, and I don't care about the audio. Otherwise, I'll be having a headset on the whole time, so I get the full 360 audio. I get my 7.1 or 5.1, depending upon the headset you got, obviously. But more often than not, especially people who are really into the gaming, they get these headsets that give them effectively 3D audio anyway.
I think I know the difference. But it doesn't make sense. If this is the difference, it doesn't make sense it like being them that's saying it unless they've figured out some way to convert it. Have you guys played Hellblade? Cinema Sacrifice?
Oh, what a game.
Yes.
Amazing game.
Yes.
The sound design is impeccable in that game.
That was recorded using binaural audio.
Yes.
It's two mics that act as your two ears, and they record it so they can make it perfectly accurate to how a human would hear. That could be what they mean.
I mean, if they mean it like that's a good idea. Because that was, honestly, the audio in that game was incredible. It put me on edge, honestly. A lot of the time I was on edge when I was playing that game because it was just too well done. Which is ridiculous to say.
That's what they use. They use binaural audio. So unless they've got something in the background where it's converting normal audio to binaural audio, that would be, I want to say, impossible.
Because surely, not every game would be able to do that. Not every company will be able to do that with their audio. Like, there's not, because, they'd have to convert it, but I don't even know how you do that, because surely you'd have to take some audio from the exact same track. I don't know how that works.
Unless they are using some kind of algorithm to, scan through all the audio and find out, so your player's location. Because normal games do have 3D audio, even when they're not recorded binaural audio. So you play a shooter, and you hear shots coming from your right, but that's not recorded in binaural. Only very, very few games actually did that. So it is technically possible. So maybe they've just got an upgraded algorithm that enhances it and makes it better.
I do think they do need to explain it a bit more, because just saying 3D audio, it doesn't mean anything, genuinely.
Yeah,
to me,
it's just,
that literally just
in
means
my
audio
headset.
in general. Right?
They literally raved about it when they first announced it, and then gave nothing.
They
So,
showed
3D
that,
audio!
the deer made of balls, and then an explosion made of balls, and they're like, oh, audio, ooh. No, that was it.
yeah.
Like, what did you mean?
But
It's audio. But 3D!
Their quote-unquote 3D audio that they've got going on, as you say, could be, it would be useful in games, shooter games, stuff like that. However, one of the games that I immediately took the piss out of and called it, just from the wording alone before it happened, was Returnal. And I immediately, after the wording was said, I just went, so this sounds like Groundhog Day, I'm going to call it there. And then it starts playing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is Groundhog Day. And for that Tom Cruise film that you mentioned, it's called Edge of Tomorrow.
Or
Happy Death Day.
No.
Live, Die, Repeat.
That's it. Live, Die, Repeat. That's the one, which I prefer personally. Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat was a better title, to be honest. But speaking of, Groundhog Day kind of things, what do you guys think of Deathloop?
Oh,
Deathloop.
the Arcane game.
Made by Arcane, published by Bethesda.
Dishonored.
Yeah, the guys who made Dishonored. You can tell it's made by the guys who did Dishonored.
Yeah, it looked very Dishonored.
What do you think?
I'm curious if it's going to be co-op or have another player in it, because there's two players.
Ooh.
There's like there's two characters. The character you're playing as is trying to kill all these people before he dies and get out of his time loop, whilst there's a woman who's trying to kill you.
Yeah, the sniper lady or whoever she. I don't know if she's specifically sniper, but we saw it with the sniper.
So does that mean it's going to be multiplayer?
That would be a pretty cool. Not co-op mode, but not even a versus mode. Technically,
it's an interesting concept. The whole, multiplayer. It would be interesting. I just can't see it being something that people would love if you're going through playing the game like, yeah, I've got to assassinate these four, and if it's matchmaking or just random rather than invite your friends, and someone just pops up who is so much better at playing a game than you, or just has played the game more than you have and knows all of the ins and outs, where it's just going to be, hey, so you're alive, now you're dead, now you're alive, now you're dead. It's just going to be a bit
Now, I reckon, if they were to do it, if it is a multiplayer kind of thing, they would have it so obviously when the person kills you, you obviously loop back however long the loop is, and then they're kicked out of your game. So think of it like Dark Souls, like an invader. You'll have Jim Bob Magoo invading you, like, all right, this guy's now hunting me. Cool. If he kills me, I get looped back, but, whatever. Just, I think if they were to do it, it'd have to be in that kind of style, or invite a friend to do the whole game or something. I don't know. Don't know exactly how it works. If they both be looping back, I don't know. But I like the idea of an invader kind of style fighting for it.
Let me throw a different angle at you. We're sitting there trying to think of, okay, well, this way would be bad, this way would be bad, this way would be bad. So what are the good ways it could happen? This is Arcane Studios, who made Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider, and they're being published and owned by Bethesda. There's no reason to assume this is going to be a good way. It could just be one of the terrible ways we're thinking, where it's like, that would be really terrible if a player just joined your game and could just kill you over and over and over. It's a possibility.
It is entirely possible. It is possible. I can't deny that. I mean, Bethesda, after Fallout 76, they've gone down a bit, to say the least. I know they're only publishing it, so they're not obviously having a huge hand in it. But Arcane, I love Dishonored 1. I love Dishonored. Dishonored 2 was a bit. It's good, but it's a bit broken in some ways, which is fine. It's playable, but like you're saying,
glowing review there.
Yes, an amazing one.
It's I mean, the first one was the top for them for sure. They had this cool concept, the cool world they were beginning to build, all this stuff going on, and it worked really well. I had no issues with the first one whatsoever. Second one came out, gameplay's it's the same, just a little bit buggy. I didn't play Death of the Outsider though, so I can't say too much with that. I don't know if you guys did at all.
No, I've not played the second.
Obviously, Arcane also did Prey, didn't they? The 2017 one.
To be fair,
I still haven't played that.
It's an interesting game. It's a good game, but it's actually like Marmite. People really like it or they really hate it.
That's actually amazing. Like you brought that up and it all just clicked, because when we were discussing Deathloop, I was thinking in my head, you know what this sounds like? It sounds like the things that we're suggesting make it sound like it's going to be Prey Moon Crash, and that was actually really, really amazing. Oh yeah, there we go. That's why.
Well, there we go. See, we got
restored.
There we go. I mean, obviously, what have they done? Was Death of the Outsider after Prey Moon Crash, or was it the other way around? I can't remember.
I think they were announced at the same Bethesda showcase.
I honestly can't remember.
I don't know. I only remember Death of the Outsider. Don't remember Moon Crash.
Either way. You know what? I still love the original Prey. I know it's a completely different thing, but
the very original.
Banging game.
But we've got a lot to cover. And not enough time to cover it. So I'm just going to do a quick fire round of games that either I didn't feel were worth mentioning other than
if
a
you
passing
had
mention,
a certain game in this, I'd be annoyed.
or there wasn't enough that they gave us. So we have Sackboy.
Could not care
Sackboy.
about it.
That's it. Yeah, don't care. NBA.
There's Little
It's
Big
another
Planet, but a
NBA
bloody
game.
adventure game. Woo.
NBA, it's NBA. We know what we're
Yeah.
getting.
Bug Snacks.
It's-
I said Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs. Got it wrong. I'm not interested in that game in the slightest.
It's cute. That's the draw to it. It's going to draw a lot of people in just because the cute factor.
Yeah. But
Personally, I'll play it
no,
just for a
it's for
dumb, fun
kids.
game.
That's
That's
it.
it.
It's
Wrong
a game
audience,
for kids.
though.
Yeah,
Wrong
completely
audience.
wrong audience.
Yeah.
Hitman
100%.
3 gave us
Don't care,
nothing
personally.
other than a trailer. So
It's a
there's
Hitman
nothing
game.
worth. Yeah,
You know what
It's,
you're in for.
it's going to be
worth
Hitman
talking
2 with
about.
new levels. There you go.
Destruction All Stars. Honestly, I think it looks absolutely horrendous. I don't like the whole
See-
melee and car thing, and it just made me think of Demolition Derby from the PS1.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Motor
I
Mayhem
love
from
that
the
game.
PS2. It's just, but it looks worse. It looks like they've tried to. And hey, you can hang me for
You
saying
can
it.
run.
It looks like they've tried to Fortnite it, and I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
say that. Ew,
now
yeah.
you said it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Demon Souls remaster. It's
Oh,
Demon Souls.
can't
There's
wait for
nothing
that.
bad against that.
It's not a
It's
remaster
just-
though. It's
Is
a
it not?
remake.
It's a remake. Oh,
Oh,
So it's even
Shove it up
better
your hoop.
because not only is it going to look better, it's going to run like Dark Souls 3, for instance. It's going to be just so much more enjoyable to play because it's not going to be anywhere near as clunky. It's not
you
going to have,
hope.
you know. Oh, I
Yeah.
I know it's From Software. Come on, they've
It's
not
not
done a
From
From
it's
Soft.
not. No.
Oh, it's not. It's
them doing it.
Blue Point or something. I think
Which
but
should make you nervous because it's not FromSoft.
it's not FromSoft. However, it's a game that's already been out, so they can't change that much. They can obviously refine it.
Let's not
But
get
they
into
can't-
that one because
Original
we
Resi
could
2 versus
argue-
Resi 2 remake. There's a lot of differences there.
That's a
We-
different thing.
We can argue this all day. Let's not get
Okay,
into
sorry,
that.
sorry.
It's Demon
Sorry.
Souls. It's coming back. It's not being done by FromSoft. There's nothing else to say about that. And the last one here is Resi 8. It gave us nothing in
Village.
that trailer. There's a person that seems to be like a werewolf that was screaming, and what was it? Hyper jacked up Chris. That's it.
Chris Redfield, werewolf.
Chris
confirmed.
shooting Ethan's wife, my wife.
Yeah. So
Like I said, Chris Redfield, werewolf confirmed.
Yeah, that's exactly
No.
what I'm thinking. I can guarantee it. That is Chris.
See?
100%.
But that's those out of the way. The next game I've got, I'm not sure. Was it pronounced Kena? Bridge of Spirits?
Oh, yeah, Kenna, I think it was.
Yeah,
Because they did
really
pronounce the
good.
name in the game. I'm pretty sure it was Kenna.
Like my main issue with that, and I just want to get it out of the way, the enemy sounded like your very stereotypical Asian mentor. And throughout the trailer, I
Yeah.
was just having that like, oh my god, really? We're doing this?
Yeah, I get that.
Really?
I get that. See,
But other than that,
I love the art
it
style.
looks so amazing.
Because
Yeah.
the fact that it's made by people who primarily did animation fills me with hope with it. Because it means
Well-
that it's going to look good, it's going to play smooth, it's going to, it's going to run well.
But that also makes me nervous because Philip and I were sat there watching this, and he pointed out what they said, because I think I literally just came back from getting a drink or something, and it was like, okay, so it's gonna look good, excellent, that's fine, but this does not show that you've got any experience in this industry whatsoever. And also, before I saw any of the trailer, I was like, does this mean it's going to play more like a cinematic rather than a game? Because I'm worried.
That's always going to be a worry, especially considering, given the current gen with PS4 order it all over again, they were like, oh yeah, here's all our cool tech, we make things look good. Then it wasn't a game, really. So it is going to be a worry, but judging from what they've shown, obviously there's combat, there's puzzle solving using the little spirit dudes, I don't know what they're called. Little, like,
Weird fluffy things.
adipose looking things.
Yeah, that's it, adipose. Thank you.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you both miss the reference? That's clearly those little coal creatures from Spirited Away, I think it is.
Oh, it's been so long since I've watched Spirited
I've
Away.
not watched
So
it.
long.
The little coal creature. It's clearly them. Clearly.
My bad, sorry.
Rude.
I love
yeah,
how outraged you are.
Tom is out there somewhere right now, fuming that we didn't pick that up immediately, and I'm almost certain that isn't the name of the movie, and he's gonna murder me.
Well, it is what it is.
Spirited
We shouldn't
Away
call
is
them adipose, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, you get to see that there's combat, there's puzzle elements, there's traversal, things like that. So it looks interesting. I reckon there's going to be some sort of leveling up system. I reckon to get different abilities and things. Obviously we didn't see much, but from what we did see, it looks good, and I'm hopeful for it. It's just we don't obviously know too much about it.
Well, the whole feel of the trailer felt like it was, she went and faced off against the big bad guy and then lost all of her powers. So yeah, there's almost definitely going to be that starting bit of the game where you're super powerful and then you lose it all, and then now you've got to level up and get all your powers back. Oh,
Literally
sorry,
get good the game.
Kenner, you forgot how to double jump because you got hit in the head once.
See, in some games I like it. 'Cause usually it can be done quite well, depending upon the game. But some games do it so horribly. Like, okay, so you forgot how to crawl across the floor. Come on now.
you forgot how limbs work.
Forgot how to open a door. Oh my god.
Oh no, sorry. You're now in a hospital, and the NHS is looking after you because you bumped your head, and you've now got to go through therapy. So the first 3 hours of this game are going to be you remembering how to walk before you can actually do anything. Have fun.
But you must learn to
Annoys
walk.
me.
You're the guardian of light. The whole world depends on you.
It annoys me when games have that tutorial. Oh yeah, move forward. It's like, well, everyone knows how to do that. Even if they've never played a game, they'll figure it out. Come on now.
Exactly.
I would like to say
it should at the start of every game just have that meta moment to go.
Well,
have you
yeah.
played
No.
video game?
I would like to say that I got my mum to play the opening part for Assassin's Creed 2, up to the part where up to the part where it comes up with Ubisoft Presents Assassin's Creed 2. So, after you've done the race up to the top of the church.
The tower. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when the game started, my mum was like, okay, so what have I missed? And I filled her in. And then she just went, okay, so I'm assuming it's this one to move. Wait, that's the camera. Okay, so it's this one to move. And then immediately just went, am I following this one? I'm like, yes. You don't need to make games this simple, because my mum, who is in her late 40s and does not play video games, took one look at it and went, well, this is self-explanatory. Like,
that's the thing.
My 6-year-old picked it up.
He'd probably still just wiggle it around. In fact, I know a 6-year-old. Well, I don't know a specific. I'm not like, oh yeah, hi 6-year-old. My friend has his kid who is 6.
999 police. Yeah, I've got someone to report to you.
Yeah, my friend has a kid and who's 6, and she plays a lot of games. She plays a lot of Minecraft and stuff like that. The usual crap that kids play. But the fact that she can play it, they have no issues playing it. They can literally just leave this kid to play games for ages. Nowadays, it's just the norm that kids do. So if it's a young kid, they'll figure it out. If it's an older person, they'll figure it out. I mean, you've got that elderly lady who plays Skyrim, for God's sake,
yeah.
So many people, and nowadays, they're usually pretty self-explanatory on how to move forward. Like, yeah, you might not get the nuances and things, like, fair enough, the more in-depth stuff, but the basics. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first bit of fighting you do in Assassin's Creed 2, which is with Desmond, there was no instructions on how to do anything, but she just hit buttons until she was like, oh, I'm punching someone in the face. It's like,
yeah,
yep, well done, carry on doing that.
Okay, but the counter to this argument is, does anyone remember that IGN journalist who reviewed Cuphead? who couldn't follow on-screen instructions of jump and dash at the same time.
That's
Okay,
that's an exception, okay?
But can I say there is a world of difference between someone picking up a game for the first time and someone being a games journalist and not being able to do something.
You're right. There is a world of difference between an IGN journalist and your average player. The average player is infinitely more skilled. You can't spell ignorance without IGN.
Now that we've roasted IGN, I think we should move on.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Real quick, IGN has some fantastic people working there, just not many.
Hey, they let me play Quantum Break before it came out. Thanks, guys.
And now that we've insulted them and said thank you for the pleasure of all of that, Oddworld, or rather Abe's games, because it's called Soulstorm.
Isn't it Abe's Odyssey Soulstorm, isn't it?
No, it's just Oddworld Soulstorm.
No, it's not. It's
crap.
Abe Soulstorm.
Oh, God.
Oddworld
Okay,
is the company.
Yes, but
How many
everyone
times do I
knows
have
it.
to tell you? Oddworld is the company that makes the game. The games were never
And
called Oddworld
everyone
Abe's
knows
Exodus.
it as Oddworld.
I know, but
Everyone
Oddworld is the company
knows
that
it as
makes it.
Oddworld.
It is
The games are
Oddworld
Abe.
Still Soulstorm.
Abe Soulstorm.
It's not.
That's what it's called.
Oddworld. I hate to say
Anyway,
it.
enough of the title arguing. What did you think?
Now, I like the idea of it because Abe's games, they've always been, they're near and dear to my heart. You know, I played them when I was a kid, back in the day.
Follow me. Okay.
Exactly. You know,
I'm
then you
sorry,
get to
but
see your
I
friend
think I
die, and you're like, oh. my
I
bad.
spent way more than 5 minutes laughing at the fact that I could fart and giggle and cause the sligs
we all
to make
did.
noises
We
and
all
all
did.
that.
Sorry.
Honestly. And the fact that now we're going to be escorting like 25 guys at a time, Jesus Christ. It's going to be hectic.
I'm so glad you added the sound effects there, because the only other one that was going through my head was when the sligs are angry and they're going at you.
Help!
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's my favourite bit. I specifically remember walking along doing it and him just going, help! And then he runs off screen and then runs back. It's like, what are you doing?
I did. Yeah,
No, go on.
I was going to say I did end up buying
New and tasty.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. I was trying to remember it, and the moment I got back into it, I was like, wait a minute, I remember this bit. I remember doing this, and did the exact same thing and sat there chuckling for a solid 2 minutes. As I was
You
like,
just have to, don't
am
you?
I a kid again? Is this just what I have been reduced
Honestly,
to?
it's games like that. They just bring you back to the heyday of when games were, you know, they were new. There was nothing like them before. You know, things like that, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. When the remakes for that come out, that's going to bring me right back. You know, when Spyro came out, it brought you right back. You know, all these games that are doing proper remakes, the good ones. You know.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to hard disagree with the pair of you. I think this is going to be garbage. Not like terrible.
Oh,
but
you mean this new one?
I don't think it's going to innovate. I don't think it's going to do anything new.
It's not.
And I think if you were to go back to a game like that without the rose-tinted glasses of, you know, my childhood, then I think you'd just go, wow, this is shit. And I think that's what it's going to be.
It's entirely possible. I mean, obviously, especially nowadays when most games are kind of tailored more towards, you know, adventure, action, whatever. Yeah, you still have your puzzle platformer and things, but they're not anywhere near as prevalent as they were back then. Because obviously there was more limitations then. That was why they had more of those kind of games. But yeah, without the rose-tinted glasses, admittedly, Abe's Odyssey probably would suck. Obviously I can't say it would or wouldn't, because again, I have those glasses. You know, I loved it as a kid. But you know, if you know little Jimmy down the road, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to play Abe Soulstorm or Odyssey," or the title.
Abe Soulstorm, you got it right the first time.
The title. Going to play the new one that's coming. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm escorting. It's just a huge escort quest. That's all it is. And people hate escort quests. Come on. We all hate it.
but let's face it, that's the thing that the Apes games did better. They actually followed you. They did as you said. You could say wait, and you'd just get like 10 of them together, and you just hear okay. Yes,
You're so
thank you.
wrong. The best part about that game was the fact that you could fart and then possess the fart and then go blow it up on someone. That was the
I
best part of
did
the
not
game.
know you could do that.
Well, there you go. There was a special drink you could down where you'd drink it and then you could possess your own fart. That was the best part of the game. And yes, as it flew around, it went. So yes, best part of the game.
That's it. I need to go back. I need to go possess a fart.
Not in the game.
Game of the century, just for that.
Yeah, no, not in the game. No, I just need to fart out the window, possess it, send it around the estate.
Yeah, just possess it, man. Just do it. God, why haven't you done that already? Jeez.
The next one on my list, Ghostwire Tokyo. And I will say, I haven't really got much to say about this other than it seems very, I don't know, average, I think. It doesn't seem like there's going to be anything special about it.
When the trailer started and they were showing off all of these different ghosts and paranormal encounters, I was honestly excited. I was incredibly excited because a game based in Tokyo that shows all of these, supernatural horrors that exist in Japanese culture. Oh my God, I'm sounding like Tom. Would be amazing because there are some fantastic ones there, and it would be so good. And then the moment that they started playing, quote unquote, the game, I groaned. I audibly groaned. It looks so average. It's so just, really?
See, that's the thing. A lot of games nowadays have great concepts. Like, they can have the best concept in the world, but a lot of it gets bogged down by them trying to do what's good at the moment, or what they think would be a good play style for it, but it really should be something else, or a variety of things. But like you're saying with Ghostwire, the concept is fantastic. Gameplay, it looks okay.
I feel like
doesn't wow me,
Well, yeah, but I feel like because of how average the gameplay looks, it's going to need something like the wit that Shadow Warrior has.
Shadow Warrior was an average game, but because of the
because
humor,
of the character, exactly,
all that stuff, it did.
Because of that,
up.
it really carried it and really made it special.
It was so opposite of the tone they're trying to set. It felt like
that's
the tone they're trying to set.
though.
It's really dark, serious, and grounded. And then the gameplay's
just with it.
A shooter, basically.
If it is that dark, then and it doesn't leave any room for any wit and humor, then it's just going to be average and probably quite boring, because it'll just be the same repetitive thing. Like, I don't know if they're going to do missions or if it's going to be open world or what have you, but it will just be the same throughout. And having gone through and completed the first Shadow Warrior, I did begin to feel like that. Certain enemies gave me challenges, but it was always the wit for when you beat an enemy or started a fight with an enemy, or the cutscenes and just the character interactions and the wit between it. It was excellent, and that's what I played it for. So although bits got boring, I was still entertained by the writing.
I can almost guarantee that won't be the case here, because if it was the case, the character would have taken more of a center stage in the trailer.
Yep.
You push that stuff and you push it hard. You go, you're playing for this character. This is the badass, and this is the guy who's super funny and is going to carry you through it. They didn't do that.
That's why you get things like Borderlands, who market their game on the just ridiculousness. You get,
and they lean into the characters immediately, because these are the guys that are going to drive you forward.
Yeah,
they didn't do that, which means it's not.
Borderlands, this is what sells it. Why is Claptrap still around? Kill him, please.
Well,
because,
I mean,
strange enough, there are some people.
It wouldn't be Borderlands
him.
without him, though, would it? Really?
No, it would.
No, but it would be a better game.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're agreeing that it is just going to be average at
mediocre.
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment it looks like that one's one of the ones where you wait until after it's released. and see
Yeah.
that everyone's gone, yeah, wait till it's on sale.
Well, you talked about Borderlands, which is a Gearbox game.
Yes.
Godfall.
Godfall.
Good segue.
Thanks.
Godfall looks interesting. Mainly
it-
because it's a looter shooter kind of thing, but not a shooter. It's a looter.
It's a looter stabby.
Yeah. it's a
a looter
Dark
slapper.
Souls looter. You know.
Well,
Wow.
I don't know what you
it's
can
a
call
looter
it. It won't be Dark
slasher
Souls. It's going to be anyone.
focused on
Yeah,
melee
it's more
combat.
like Devil May Cry with loot. You know.
See, now, if I'm remembering rightly, and I think I am, it is the one that had its special cinematic trailer for that sort of teaser announcement for the PS5 yonks ago. And yes, it was a cinematic trailer, but yes, it did look good. And the quote-unquote gameplay that we saw, again, it looks good, but
Thing is, it looks like it could be a somewhat boring game. Like it, I want it like it
God
because
it
I
wasn't
love
just
loot
me.
games. I love any loot games. Loot for me is just sells it for me usually. But it's obviously until we see more, I can't say for sure. But if it's just literally a tiny little arena, here fight these guys, get some loot, move on, another little arena, rinse and repeat basically.
yeah.
I want more from it, I know you'll have the story, but the story is probably going to be okay.
The story's going to be, someone killed your father, avenge him.
Yeah, literally, well, I mean, obviously the whole thing is you've fallen and you, as a god, and you need to rise up or whatever it is, but, well...
yeah, because someone
isn't
killed
the
your
thing that
father, so
drives
you fell
those.
from grace.
The story is really not what drives those kind of games. It's meant to be the core
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics, and they haven't shown that yet.
That's the thing. They didn't really show it. They're like, oh yeah, here, look at him stab. Look, he's stabbing someone. Oh, he's stabbing that guy.
Yeah, look, he's stabbing
bashed him with
someone,
a
and
shield.
two others
Ooh.
are dancing around menacingly.
Look at this cool armor
Yeah.
you can get. Ooh, right? You're going to pre-order right now, right? Right, do it, right? Come on, right now.
That's why. What was the game called? I forgot what it's called. It's the looter shooter that's coming to both consoles. Oh, crap, what's it called? Continue your points while I look this up.
I don't actually have anything left to say on Godfall. That was pretty much it. As
I'm hoping to be
Outriders.
surprised. Outriders.
Have you guys seen anything on that?
oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. The moment you said the name, I need like an image to jog my memory.
Yeah. It's a looter shooter, but with different heroes with different abilities. So it's sort of a hero looter shooter kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember because the very very beginning of the trailer, I was like, this just seems like some sort of advanced Destiny, and then
Yeah.
it just started playing. And I was like, oh right.
Yeah, but the thing with that game, they've shown off all the core mechanics. They've shown off
Yeah,
that you've got
they
different
have.
classes, different
Yeah.
abilities, different loot, different sets and things like that. They've shown
Yeah,
off these
and skill
things that,
trees and stuff like
yeah,
that.
exactly. They
Yeah.
draw you in with showing you what's actually in the game. Whereas Godfall,
Yeah.
not so much.
If you need your memory jogged, Philip, it's the one where Square Enix are publishing, and it's developed by People Can Fly.
The guys who did Bulletstorm.
Well, you just
Which I
lowered
really
my
enjoyed.
expectations a whole bunch.
Yeah, I enjoyed Bulletstorm. I hate to say it.
I've
I
never
enjoyed
played it.
Don't.
Didn't play the remaster, but I love the original. It's just dumb fun.
Dumb fun. Okay.
It was half
So
of that sentence, yes.
What fun? Excellent.
No!
See?
no,
There we
no,
go.
no, no.
Have fun.
But as we're talking about, the games like that don't get carried by their story. How about a game that should? Solar Ash.
Solar Ash looks interesting. I love the style they're going with.
What was it you said about it, Philip?
Look
Sort
like
of vibe-
Abzu.
Yeah, I mean, it does look a lot like Abzu.
And I have to
Um,
say, if you haven't played Abzu, do it.
Abzu's
Absolutely
fantastic.
do it.
I can third that because I am not someone that plays those sorts of games, and it was only on Philip's recommendation that I played Abzu, and I loved it. I loved every second of it.
That game is so good. And this just looks like an Adzu spiritual sequel. I really hope it is, but again, they've showed nothing.
I mean,
But if it is,
it's made by the guys who made Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
Which if you haven't
played
played that,
that.
you should. Again, it's another fantastic game. I think it's the only game they've made though. Pretty sure. But yeah, just design wise, I like it. It looks
Yeah,
interesting.
very pretty.
Obviously, you're gonna have that whole gravity, I guess, effect.
Well, I was gonna say, as someone who absolutely loves anything to do with space, and I love seeing the way different games depict black holes.
Oh,
I
they did a
loved
damn
the
good
way
job.
they did that one. Yeah,
They actually got it. They basically looked at Interstellar and like, all right, we're taking that. That's literally because that apparently is the most accurate depiction of a black hole so far, and that's basically what
Interstellar's
they
one.
did in
Yeah,
that game.
that's because they used an actual program that
Yeah, that
monitored, and then
made
they
it,
took those monitors
you know.
and then made it and then replicated it. It was
But yeah, the fact that they've got things like that. So obviously for space buffs, they're gonna love that. I love the funky style it's got going on. You got rollerblades. When was the last time we had a rollerblading game? Bloody.
you're making me less interested in the game. Stop talking, please.
Hey,
God.
hey.
rollerblades.
Movement tech.
What
It's movement
what
tech.
decade
That's what
are
it
we in?
is. It's movement tech, and any game that has solid movement tech is usually pretty fun. Because even just running around and doing whatever is usually pretty fun in those type of games, which is what I'm looking forward to. Minus the rest of it, but
I feel like you were spot on with the way it looks, because it does look very pretty. And another game that interested me, mostly from its looks, was Little Devil Inside.
It's got a very
The art
specific
style
art
of
style.
that. Yeah. I will, however,
personally-
say... you go first.
I was just going to say, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the art style.
I-
But you continue.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like that art style, but I was going to say that the moment that trailer started playing and a few of these creatures popped up, I just immediately turned and went, is this a Monster Hunter clone?
Honestly, I kind of thought it was going to be like Monster Hunter 0.5.
0.5. Not
Like-
1.5, not 2.5, just 0.5.
That's because Monster Hunter is top tier, right? This, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did like the look of it. It did interest me. There are a couple of faces on some of the creatures that just I couldn't take seriously, like the part where he's hiding behind the rock, keeping himself quiet, and then that big ass, I don't know, Cheshire cat face turns and looks, and I was just like, I can't take this seriously. I can't look at that and go, oh no, it's a big bad. I look at it and go, I want to slap that smile off your face. I'm expecting the Queen of Hearts to appear. Yeah, I did like the look of it. It's probably a game I'll pick up.
I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it to go on sale, I think, personally.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll probably pick it up when it releases, but it depends how much it is.
That's the thing. If it's like a 60 quid game, come on now. Actually, that's another
It
thing.
won't
I
be.
wonder if the games are going to be
It
60
was
quid
a
coming
greenlit game to start with, so it won't be.
out. Yeah, it's probably going to be like 30 quid.
That's
then.
all right then. Yeah, it's probably only going to be half the price. That's all right. If it's 30, I probably still won't buy it. Brand
Yeah,
new.
probably.
Yeah. The second to last game that I want to bring up is Pragmata. And watching that, it piqued my interest, but there was nothing really. In fact, there was nothing to show other than when I saw this guy with his whatever that was that created
Suit.
the grenade that then threw dust everywhere and all that rubbish. At first, I was like, please don't be Death like a Death Stranding like game,
Oh,
because
it
that
looked
did
like
not
that.
interest me.
That's the thing. When I saw it, I thought, is this like Death Stranding 2? Or, which I actually really wanted, but I know it wouldn't happen. I was like, could it be Dead Space? Another Dead Space. I was like, looking at his suit, I'm like, it looks kind of Dead Spacey, maybe. I didn't think so, but it would have been nice.
There's so little shown about it.
That's the
nothing
thing.
that can
They
even,
didn't show
like,
much.
even be
They showed
said
that
about it.
cinematic. You know, they showed that green net bubble thing,
Yeah,
when whatever it was, and then
And-
something.
and-
Obviously, something crashing through the ceiling, not the sky, the ceiling,
yeah,
and that was it.
and also the girl with the eyes that made other.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and the cat that couldn't quite decide. Well, the robot cat that couldn't quite decide whether it wanted to keep up the illusion or
It's
not.
like, oh, here's my skeleton. Oh, here's my bones. Oh, here's
It's
my
just a
meat.
failing hologram.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
But it looks like it could be good. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on it. If it does turn out to be another Death Stranding-like game, then I'm immediately going to be disinterested. Because that
See,
sort
Death
of game
Stranding, I
does
think
not
it's like
interest
a
me
one
at
and
all.
done. You know, it's such a specific kind of game that if anyone does try to replicate it, it's just it's not gonna do too well unless they do something specific to bring themselves higher. It's just it's gonna flop.
Now, the largest title, the arguably largest title, because, I mean, it's only arguable with Gran Turismo, that's only because it's been on every PlayStation, is Horizon 2 Forbidden West.
So this could be a bit of a hot take. I think Horizon's overrated. The first one.
Fair, I've not played it,
it's-
so
It's a good game.
it's all
Don't get me
gonna be on
wrong.
you.
It's a solid open world game, but I just think it's overrated. I haven't finished it, admittedly. Story is good. I say it's good. It's solid. It's not like the best story in the world, but it's solid. So I'm looking forward to number 2 to see what they do to advance the gameplay mechanics, the combat, everything like that. But I'm not like hyped about it, to be honest, personally.
I would like to point out that at the very beginning of the trailer, when the protagonist is speaking, and they say, "The Ancient Ones," I immediately turned to Philip and said, "I'm a bit sick of games and films and everything going, ooh, the Ancient Ones, ooh, the precursors. Stop. Either give me an actual genus, I believe is the term, actually tell me what it was, or just go, hey, there was a civilization that used to exist, but it doesn't anymore. Stop going, the Ancient Ones. Makes it sound far more mystical than it actually is.
Like them dead guys back there.
Yeah.
That's what she was referencing, though, was human race.
Yeah,
Human race back in the day.
but you don't call it, you don't look back at, say, ancient Egypt and go, oh yeah, so the Ancient Ones. No, you go, back when Cleopatra was
But that's 'cause we
the
had
but
records.
I mean, how long ago was this were these ancient ones? Is it like prehistoric times? Obviously it won't be, but what? I mean, no matter what, it's a bit of a cop out, really. It's just they're old people who died. The ones who were here before us.
Okay, but destroy every single piece of literature and the internet, reduce us back to the Stone Age, basically, and in 1,000 years, that would be the expected response. Because
I don't know,
those people would
they'd be
have
like-
no possible concept of what we were and how we created these massive structures.
They would be like, oh yeah, the techno gods. At least give them a
Or
different
the
name.
ancient ones.
The ancient one's boring. That's so generic.
I think I get your argument, yes, but at the same time, we're not in that age here. Come up with some better writing. Stop using the same rubbish.
I think the issue would be if they're leaning into the whole, humanity died, blah blah blah. There's no tech. They have no knowledge of what humans were capable of or how humans even existed. Why are they speaking English?
I was about to ask Ethan, as you've played the first one, are they still human? Are they humans themselves?
Yeah, so they're still human. Obviously, Aloy's the main character. I'm not going to say too much in case people who are listening haven't played the game. I don't want to spoil things, obviously.
I may end
So
up
I
getting it
can't
when it's
really
on
say
sale.
too much because it's, you know. But point being, regardless,
But they are humans. They are from our
humans.
race.
They're not like offshoots or anything. It's
right.
Go on.
That's all I needed was they're human. So why are they referring to us as ancient ones?
Because they don't
think
necessarily know
theoretically-
that it was humans that created these massive structures. The myths that prevailed for so many years and still prevail today, that aliens built the pyramids.
I can't say things. Spoilers.
If it's not a major spoiler,
It's a major
do it.
spoiler.
I'm going to have to play the game and then just randomly, sometime in the future on a different episode of the podcast, I'm just going to have to just blurt it out and go, okay, this is this.
By the way, remember that one time?
Yeah. Remember this one discussion we were having about language? Well,
back.
But yeah, there's things that do give you insights to who built what and who is things and what happened and things like that.
There seems to be a recurring theme though, because while the game looked very pretty, they didn't actually show any of the game.
I mean,
they showed some.
If you
set
played
pieces and
Horizon
cutscenes.
1, presumably number 2 can be pretty much the same in regards to. I mean, I don't. It's going to be bows and arrows again because it's her thing, It's going to be traps because that's the thing that set it apart was the fact that you could use this bow and arrow to set traps for dinosaurs, what you would call them, robots, dinobots, all bots, roll out, whatever. It could be whatever you want. It could be a bloody transformer. It doesn't matter. But obviously the gameplay is going to be very much the similar style. It's going to be open world. You're going to have sync locations effectively from Assassin's Creed, the viewpoints. You're going to have bow and arrow. You're going to have traps. You're going to have leveling up in some aspect. You're going to be probably different weapons, maybe loot. You will have loot. I know that for a fact because there's loot in the first one. It's going to be very similar. I just can't imagine what they can do to bring it forward, because what can they do differently, really, that they haven't already done for that type of game?
Well, that's the thing. They haven't showed anything.
As someone that has not played the first one, and the way you just described that makes it sound like the only thing that was original thought was, even then it's not original, was robotic dinosaurs. That was it. That was the only point I was going to make. And then I was just like, no, I'm sure something else has done this. I'm sure I've seen something else with robotic dinosaurs.
I hate to say it, but it is the most original thing in the game. It's got a decent story. The gameplay's fine, but it doesn't innovate,
Well, yeah, you said synchronization points. I'm like, okay, yeah, so you've just said Assassin's Creed. Oh, bows and arrows, yeah, that's already been done. Traps, that's already been done in other games.
That's the thing. Most of it,
hold on.
99% of it has been done somewhere else. It's nothing. It's the story, obviously, that sets it apart. But personally, I don't find it that engaging. It's good, but it's not like It's not like The Last of Us. I
was going to say you played it for the gameplay rather than for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I said that was the last game. I do want to quickly bring up the Spider-Man. What was it? Expansion.
Spider-Man 1.5, let's say.
No, it's an expansion, and it's rumored. The rumors that are coming out and circulating, it's going to be about 4 hours, and it's simply because they shifted so many units of the PS4 on the back of Spider-Man that they're trying to capitalize on that with the PS5. So instead, they'll just release a PS5 version of Spider-Man, but with this new package DLC, and it's an expansion. Ooh, purchase it right now. Ooh.
I do hope that's not the case. I do hope the rumors are all wrong. It is a fully fledged game, but
it's confirmed. It is an expansion. It's not a new game. It is an expansion. Confirmed.
That is a bit of a shame.
What was it you said about them cashing in, Philip?
The whole Miles Morales thing. It feels like they're just trying to cash in on the Spider-Verse because that was such a smash success, and a second one is coming.
Right. So I read the comics. So why taking this will be a bit different than other people's. But Miles Morales has been a character that was introduced a little while ago. He was very minor, and then everyone loved him, and he blew up into his own, his own fandom. People love Miles Morales now, which is why I always say he's in the comics. He's canonically one of the main Spider-Men now, which is fine. Which is obviously, again, why they'd be bringing him to the game. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Spider-Verse smashed it. Like, absolutely an amazing film. Loved it. Can't wait for the second one. Probably won't live up to the first one, but it'll be great. But the fact that, for me, as a comic reader, they're bringing Miles Morales to the game isn't to cash in on Spider-Verse. It's because he's a main Spider-Man now, effectively. So,
but the comic readers are a minority.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah. I will admit.
They're cashing in on the Spider-Verse.
It's hard to say, because obviously they were setting up Miles Morales in the first game.
Yes, they were, and that's the point I was about to bring up. You do meet him, you do interact with him, and there's a little bit of stealth with him. Yeah. So, as I said yesterday to you, Philip, it made sense. Ignoring Spider-Verse, ignoring the comics, it made sense that they would do something with him.
If you guys don't think that this is a desperate cash in on the Spider-Verse, then you are dead wrong. Full stop.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that regardless, it would have made sense anyway.
Okay, but I guarantee you more people watched Into the Spider-Verse than played the Insomniac PS4 Spider-Man game. I guarantee it.
More than likely, just due to exposure.
Guarantee it. So
they'll have kids who want to see the film, parents will go with them, The exposure in general for films is higher than games. In general. They are
absolutely going to be cashing in on Into the Spider-Verse.
But, I just think because they were already setting it up, it worked. It worked as a expansion anyway. It's entirely possible they are cashing in. I will not deny that. It's entirely possible. Personally, I don't think that's why they're doing it. But, I can see why other people would.
Now, that's all I had in terms of the games to bring up. If I didn't bring up anything that was in the show, it's just purely because there was nothing to it, or it wasn't worth mentioning, in my humble opinion. But I will say this. PlayStation said, play has no limits. With a console as ugly as it is, and with them not supporting your entire library in terms of backwards compatibility, why on earth would you use that slogan? You've just limited players to generations. Congratulations. You have done the exact opposite of your slogan.
It did feel like they were talking out both sides of their mouth, considering all the way through the show they were going, we feel that players should feel the generational leap. We've put years into making sure that there is a generational leap. So when players upgrade, they feel the generational leap. But we also want everyone to play together and everyone to experience video games of all the same type. You can't. Yeah. Those are contradictory points.
Yeah. And what was it for PS4? Their thing was for the players.
Yeah, for the players, yeah.
And they're not using it for the PS5, so far as I've noticed, so...
No,
good job!
It's... Like, obviously, eventually consoles are going to get to a point where they can't really do much improvement-wise. They'll be just a PC, basically, which I know they are basically anyway, but... Yeah.
A non-upgradable one.
Yeah, an unupgradable PC, which, don't me wrong, that's a completely different matter, that's whatever. But
that's a laptop.
There's going to come a point where, obviously, they can't do much in regards to graphical upgrades, because obviously, full realism only has so far to go. It's not far off it, to some extent, but so eventually they're going to have to focus on the story, the gameplay, things like that, and I can't wait for that day, honestly, because right now, from what we're seeing, gameplay-wise, a lot of things are a bit lacking. Some stories seem to be a bit lacking, like, Ghostwire, for instance. Cool-sounding story, bad-looking gameplay. I've forgotten where I was going with this point, to be honest. So
that's fine. Yeah, I think that about does it, unless anyone else has any last thoughts on the router that is being
It's
shown
ugly as
as
all
a
hell, and I
console.
need to make it in black at least. 'Cause all my furniture's black. Don't want a white console. Just saying.
Any last thoughts from you, Philip?
I'll just say that there's a theory going around. I'm not necessarily subscribed to this hypothesis, let's say, but it's looking to be that the PS5 is about an inch and a half bigger than the current Xbox.
Yeah,
So
they were using
they've made it like too big to fit on shelves. So it's looking like it's going to have to sit next to your TV out in the open rather than just being tucked away on a shelf.
Yeah, they were using the controller to kind of judge, weren't they? They were using that to kind of judge the height of it, and height and width, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, from what I've seen, because I've seen the same sort of rumors as well. I've seen images comparing the size of that to a PS4 to an Xbox One Series X, which obviously we don't truly know the size of them. So, I mean, the controller on the PS5 might be actually like the Xbox One controller, might be significantly larger than DualShock 4. So obviously we can't tell for sure, but theoretically, it looks like it's going to be stupidly large.
Let's hope not. I know there are people out there that like to have their setups and have their shelves and everything. I'm not, but that's purely because I don't have the room to. So I can't say whether I would be or wouldn't be. But that's rather underwhelming reveal.
And speaking of underwhelming, Menzies is mildly interesting.
Oh, I was really hoping you wouldn't bring this up. I'm really,
bringing it up.
What?
Recurring
okay,
bit.
so
Let's go.
let's explain for our guest. So, Ethan,
Yeah.
it's been 2 weeks that this has happened, 2 weeks running, and now this is going to be the third week. And the first week was just because I thought it was interesting, and it was, well, it wasn't. and so
it was mildly interesting. It was okay, cool, I suppose.
And so now I have compiled a list because last week I was told I needed another one. So I made a list, and I got them to pick a number. So you have to pick a number between 1 and 30. You cannot pick 23.
Oh, I was going to pick 23 as well. 17.
17. The Buddha, commonly depicted in statues and pictures, is a different person entirely. The real Buddha was actually incredibly skinny because of self-deprivation.
Oh. That is mildly interesting.
Yep, that's the point of these, is to be super underwhelming. To be like, wow, cool, I suppose, great.
On this rather anguished finish for my mildly interesting.
Not what I expected, honestly.
Good. Don't raise your expectations for anything that comes out of my mouth when it comes to mildly interesting.
Consistently.
I mean, my last week's one was an absolute corker of one.
No, it wasn't. Now end the show.
on that terrible pun and underwhelming finish. Thank you all for watching. It's going to wrap us up for this week. We'll catch you in the Sunday show. It was wonderful having you on, Ethan.
It was lovely being here.
It's a goodbye.
What about me?
No, it's not wonderful having you. It's not wonderful having you. And that'll be a goodbye from me. Goodbye. A goodbye from Philip.
Bye.
And a goodbye from Ethan.
See you later.